Your brand may be staying on top of current trends, but are you agile enough to stay relevant, resilient, and successful as customers, competition, and the world continues to change at a breakneck pace? I'm thrilled to share the newly revised version of my first book, The Agile Brand. I'm calling it The Agile Brand Revisited. It's been updated to reflect our continually changing world, and it provides 7 principles that form the backbone of an agile brand, offering detailed insights and actionable steps for incorporating them into your business strategy. This is the book that started it all, and I'm excited to share it with you. It's now available in print and digital formats and available everywhere. Learn more by going to the Agile Brand Guide website at www.agilebrandguide.com. Welcome to Season 5 of The Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom, where we talk with enterprise and technology platform leaders about the people, processes, and platforms that make marketing and customer experience successful, scalable, and sustainable. This is what creates an agile brand. I'm your host, Greg Kihlstrom, advisor and consultant for Fortune 1000 marketing and CX leaders and teams as principal and chief strategist at GK5A, and best-selling author, keynote speaker, entrepreneur, and Agile certified coach. The Agile Brand podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. To sign up for the Agile Brand newsletter and get the latest insights and articles on marketing technology and CX, or to purchase a copy of my latest book, House of the Customer, go to gregkihlstrom.com. You can also find all my books on Amazon and other retailers. And now on to the show. Google can't access every variable on the internet, and with the amount of content created every day, brands can struggle to have pages be seen by Google and generate revenue. Enter organic search marketing, a sustainable and affordable traffic and revenue source. While SEO is one of the earliest forms of digital marketing, with the rise of social media, programmatic advertising, and more, SEO sometimes gets less notice as a major marketing channel. Today, we're going to talk about organic brand visibility and how search engine optimization, or SEO, is still a vital part of marketing. To help me discuss this topic, I'd like to welcome Adrien Menard, co-founder and CEO of Botify.com. Adrien, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. It's great to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to talking about this with you. So why don't we get started with you giving a little background on yourself and a little bit about what Botify does.
Sure. So yes, I'm Adrien. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Botify. So Botify is the organic search marketing platform the world's most ambitious brands trust to be found online. Basically, we're empowering our customers to leverage the latest technology and services to achieve sustained visibility, brand authority, and profitability. So we are a global enterprise software company founded in France, as you have probably understood thanks to my accent. But we entered the US market back in 2016, and we're now doing more than 60% of Botify's revenue from North America. So the company has about 300 employees in different offices, in Paris, of course, in London, in New York, Seattle, and Singapore, and Sydney in Australia.
Great. Oh, wonderful. So, as I said in the intro here, search engine optimization, or SEO, is certainly not new and really has been around since the 1990s, predating even Google. So let's start by talking a little bit about how SEO has evolved over time. So since even Google's founding, the way search is done and even the sheer number of websites has obviously increased dramatically. How does all of this impact enterprise companies?
Yeah, you're right. So I think search is a fascinating space to work in. Just think about it. It's estimated that Google processes about 80,000 queries per second. This is really amazing. It equates to roughly 3 to 4 searches each day per person. But you're right. It's been there for quite some time. Yes, as for everything, some things have changed dramatically. Content creation, desktop versus mobile, of course, that was not the case a few years ago. Website technologies have now nothing to do with the way websites were built when Google started. Internet audience is also very, very different. You mentioned it in your introduction. But now it's not only search. You have social media networks, retail media, advertising is truly everywhere. But what I found very interesting with organic search is that it remains a key pillar of the audience of the internet. We say that about 80% of shoppers use search before buying. On average, we at Botify estimate that 30% of online conversions come from organic search. And of course, its impact is also dramatic on the purchases that can be done in person in malls or etc. etc. So, what I think is also interesting is that it's not a new space, but still for enterprise clients, it remains a major driver of their online presence, revenue, and brand authority. Because clearly, if you are not visible on the top pages of the Google or Bing results, it means that your brand don't exist. So, interesting space to be in. A lot of things to build. That's a space that is changing quickly right now, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, definitely agree with all the different types of changes that have been happening over the last, wow, it's hard to imagine several decades. Search SEO is a few decades old at this point. It makes me feel a little old, but so your platform Spotify is built as an enterprise SEO platform. Certainly, SEO can affect all types of companies, but you're focused on the enterprise. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so we have about 500 customers, so enterprise focus. So you're right, our go-to-market strategy targets the companies we can help them the most, thanks to our technology, services, and organization. This is truly our DNA to help and support global enterprise companies. I think what's important when selling to enterprises is that you don't only have to convince the users of the solution that you can help them for their day-to-day operations. You also have to convince the what we're calling the buyer personas or the influencers. So this is actually an entire organization that we need to engage with Spotify. And no big surprise, our business model is designed to match the goals of this client's organization, so they can purchase the license for the domain or the country they need to increase visibility online. And year after year, the price of the license will increase or decrease depending on the traffic performance generated by the Bodify solutions. So, in short, that's a win-win model that shows our commitment to the success of the client.
Yeah, definitely. And so, that's certainly the international component is certainly one of the components of enterprise SEO. What are some of the other unique challenges that Spotify solves for?
So, what I think is very unique about Bodify is that we are the only end-to-end platform in the space. So what does it mean? It means that our solution is designed to empower our customers to first analyze their performance, then decide their action plans, and then implement the solution automatically. Because I think it's really unique in the market. We aim to answer the two big problems every digital organization seeking for greater visibility can face. One, they need to be able to act fast and to get some results, of course, and they need to to measure the impact. That's really where Botify differentiates from the other organic search marketing solutions.
Yeah. And so how do you look at measurement then? It looks like Spotify has some advanced analytics and intelligence. Certainly, for the enterprise customers, they're going to be looking for things like that. But how do these work to help marketers do SEO better? And what are some of the measures of success that your customers use?
Uh, that's a very important question, especially in our space, because that's probably something where the entire SEO industry could have done better sooner.
Yeah.
But first, I'm strongly convinced that what cannot be measured cannot be optimized. So at Botify, we have about 1,000 metrics per page. So it means that we can truly measure the impact of our solutions before and after the optimizations made automatically by Botify. For you to know, we are directly connected to the web analytics of the clients. So it's very easy for my teams or for the client's teams to evaluate the impact of the Botify solutions on not only the website's potential, the website's indexation process, but directly to the revenue impact. And this is really actually the heart of the value prop. And I think why Botify has been successful so far is because we can quickly prove the impact that we can generate for the clients. I have an example in mind of a large e-commerce website in the US. And in less than 60 days, the Botify solutions were able to generate about 16% increase in organic traffic, leading to about $1.5 million in additional revenue. So to answer your question, I think it's really key to be able to, once again, impact the client's revenue quickly and to be able to measure it and to communicate it internally within the client's organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great results by through organic. I mean, so much focus is often put on what even paid search, but other types of paid media and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good to see that investing a little bit in organic can bring such great results. I want to switch gears here a little bit and talk about SEO and marketing education a little bit. So on Botify's website, you have the Botify Search Institute, which educates marketers on SEO. So while there are most likely going to be natural SEO domain experts in the enterprise, do you think it's important that all marketers, or at least most marketers, understand at least a little bit about SEO?
That's a very interesting question that could take much longer than a podcast to answer. But so just yes, think about it. I mean, every marketer is today incredibly challenged. I mean, we are all being asked about multiple marketing channels, about multiple attribution models, about multiple projects that are all competing in the same time. So I can understand that it's not easy to always cope with the changes that we are facing, and that for anything that we were thinking to be true. But the point is, and that's why we launched this project at Botify. I think it's also a responsibility to empower the various stakeholders of an organic search marketing project to understand the why, the what, and the how. So, of course, if you are a decision maker, you probably don't need to understand the canonical tags or things like that, but just understanding the major concept behind how organic search works. So, crawlability of a website, indexation process, the way the website is searched by real users, by devices, by countries, what drives the revenue or the contribution to the revenue model. These are concepts that are actually very, very marketing oriented. And we have various programs at Botify that can help whatever your role in the organization to understand what SEO is about and how it can be profitable for your marketing organization.
Before we continue, let's take a quick break. If you're like many marketing leaders today, you're inundated with a need to improve the customer experience across an increasing number of channels and touch points, all while ensuring your team is performing well, innovating, and continuously improving. So how do you find the time to determine what's next for you, your team, your brand, and your customers? My company, GK5A, can help. Whether it is advisory services, evaluation of marketing technology platforms and solutions, or digital agencies and implementation partners, or assistance with creating strategic roadmaps and prioritization of efforts, we've done it all and served as an ally to Fortune 1000 brands in industries like financial services, healthcare, consumer electronics, professional services, and more. You can learn more about these services and contact us at www.gk5a. That's www.gk5a.com. Now let's get back to the show. SEO and search is just it's part of the customer journey, whether it's the very first thing they do to do some research, or in the middle of a process, or if they have questions about a product or service or things like that. So it's this kind of this constant presence throughout the customer journey. So I agree, it's like you don't need to be a technical expert in SEO, but it
Of
helps to
course,
know
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But what we are seeing, because that's a very important point. Why sometimes SEO is lacking behind the other marketing channels, and I think we need to build ladders between SEO and the rest of the marketing organization.
Yeah.
And clearly, I mean, most of the time, the marketing organization is not adapting its projects or let's say skills and expertise to the SEO world. That must be the opposite. And we, as the SEO community, we should always speak the same language than what a marketing organization speaks. And that's why we are so obsessed about providing the right KPIs, mostly related to content, to search queries used for the demand, and finally the profitability of the channel, because this is where you can get attention. You may have more projects prioritized, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And it's working actually, because now we have more and more diverse profiles of users within the platform. And I think it's great. It's really great to see that now the information that is valuable within Botify can actually benefit the rest of the marketing organization. And by the
Yeah.
way, not only through the platform, but through the exports or the connectors that we can build that are going to tie the ACO KPIs to the other initiatives in the marketing organization. So maybe related to content, once again, to marketing plans, marketing campaigns, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And maybe to dive a little deeper even on one specific relationship. I mean, completely agree with what you're saying. I think it's helpful for really the entire marketing org to understand the implications. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between organic SEO and paid search? Because I think those are, depending on how you look at it, it's like they're different sides of the same coin. Almost, it's all search based, and yet different approaches, and most often, and at least in the enterprise, different teams even working on it. How can they work together, and why is it important for the enterprise to understand this?
Yes, well, one more good question, Greg. And if we are convinced by the power of organic search, it means that we are also convinced by the power of paid search. I think paid search
Yeah.
is really an amazing tool for marketers to be visible online. It's reactive. It can scale to a certain limit. Maybe one challenge that paid search is now facing is simply its cost. Um,
Yeah.
Really, I mean, most of our customers tell us how expensive not only paid search, by the way, but paid media in general is becoming. It's hard to reach profitability, and I think that in the end, it's also probably why they are now rethinking their budget planning, and maybe there is more attention being given to organic marketing in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think we should oppose paid and organic search. I think they are very complementary. And what's very important for me is actually to give the keys to the paid teams to know when they really have to invest, because maybe the organic visibility is not there. So,
Yeah.
going back to the user's persona within the Botify platform, we are seeing more and more paid search managers using the information that, or the data points that we have in Botify to back their paid search strategies. And sometimes they're actually going to invest more in paid search. Sometimes they're actually going to invest a bit less on particular topics, because they know that they have great results coming from organic search. So in the end, what's important is the total return that can be generated by search, and not only paid search or organic search isolated one from the other.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that thinking about not siloing things so much. There's enough of that in going on already to I think definitely opportunities to have them complement one another. I want to get to one last topic here before we go, and certainly something on everybody's mind is AI and various components of it. But wanted to talk with you specifically about everything from ChatGPT being built into Bing and Microsoft Edge and Google, recently unveiled Bard, and how do you see that impacting the way that enterprise orgs should be approaching SEO?
So I was expecting, of course, the question
Right.
because
It's kind of required these days. Yeah.
yeah, I think the toothpaste is not going to go back into the tube, and we're actually super excited about that. Because it proves that. So the first thing is that I think it's great to have multiple choices when searching the internet. Okay, diversity of answers is definitely great.
Yeah.
The second thing is that, and we are looking very closely to two things. The first one is the user behaviors.
Yeah.
Meaning, and I mean, this is not a big secret that ChatGPT is is having its moment. The number of users
Right.
globally, that's really mind blowing. But what is also interesting is to try to see and understand what we are doing with ChatGPT. And for now, it's more an assistant, a personal assistant, than a true tool that is going to provide you with relevant, accurate, updated answers. For example, I'm not sure you have searched in ChatGPT for anything related to news, a hot topic that just happened. It's not made for that. And even actually the ChatGPT and OpenAI teams tell that it's not for that.
Yeah.
When, of course, this is the art of Google or Bing. You want to find an answer to a topic that just happened. But anyway, so that's the first thing that we are looking at very closely. And of course, we will adapt the way we are optimizing websites. The second thing is the content creation.
Yeah.
Here, this is a fascinating question. I mean, it's already cheap to create content on the internet, but now it's not even cheap; it's free. And
Right.
and classifying the information at the scale of what can be produced by LLMs is truly fascinating because we are touching the infinite possibilities. And this is where I think for the marketing world, there will be answers to be found, because how are we going to differentiate a content created by a human or by a machine?
Yeah.
Is actually the content created by LLM more relevant than created by a human? In some cases, it will be. In others, it won't be.
The reality is striking. While we can stream movies on demand and order anything to our doorstep within a click, healthcare interactions often feel needlessly complex. Healthcare marketers, this one's for you. In Shop, Stream, Heal, author Adeline Ashley shares actionable insights from industry leaders like Netflix, Amazon, and Delta, showing how healthcare can thoughtfully adapt their winning strategies. This isn't about technology for technology's sake. It's about making healthcare more accessible, intuitive, and human. Drawing from real-world successes and lessons learned, the book shows you how to create healthcare experiences that truly meet patient needs while preserving clinical excellence. Shop, Stream, Heal by Adeline Ashley features a foreword from Dave O'Flanagan, CEO of Sitecore. It's published by the Agile brand and now available in print and digital formats on Amazon. Go to shopstreamheal.com for more information.
So what does it mean for search engines? How are they going to be able to cope with this massive explosion of content while being able to classify on the relevancy of a potential answer?
Yeah.
But so for our clients, what is extremely important is actually, and they have the keys to be successful in this emerging environment, I think, because let's not forget that they have the content. They own what is being in the end used by someone who's searching for an answer. So I think it's incredibly important to keep focusing on high quality content and to make sure that this content is structured and available for the search engines or the LLMs that are going to use them to, in the end, produce an answer or recommendation.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say. I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity with that, simply because one of the other things that I talk about quite a bit is personalized content as well. So it's not even just let's create a lot of different a lot of content to be thorough and covering a subject, but it's let's create infinite variations for each individual sees something slightly different, or each audience segment sees something slightly different. And so content personalization isn't new, but I think the opportunities afforded by things like GPT and others, it makes things interesting, and it does put a lot of the responsibility on the Googles and Bings of the world to be able to kind of determine, is something spam content out there that's just being generated for, to just generate a bunch of stuff, or is something meaningful and personalized and things like that. Would you agree?
Yes, certainly, certainly. We are just entering a new phase of content creation, content ranking that is going to be fascinating, and I think it's really in our responsibility actually to make sure that it's being used for good purpose and not for things that would actually not serve the interest of you, me as users, or an entire society. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting. But I think there is. I mean, we have a role to play, as an organic search solution. And by the way, we already have an official partnership with Bing because they trust Botify in our for one thing. So our customers, are the largest websites of the internet, and they need to access the content of those websites. And so Bing trusts us to actually deliver the actual structured content of our client's website in a way that enables them to make sure that they have access to the right information at the right moment. And
Yeah.
that's super important because in the end, it means because yes, if those companies don't access to the right content, there is no way they can produce interesting or valuable results for people searching the web.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, this has been great talking with you here. Adrien, thanks so much for joining. I have one last question before we wrap up here. You gave a lot of great advice, and we talked about quite a bit already here. But if you had one piece of advice for enterprise organizations that are looking to improve their organic SEO, what advice would you give them to maybe take a first step today?
Yeah, so I think probably two answers there. The first one is that contrary to popular belief, organic search is not a long-term game. You can increase your organic search performance very quickly thanks to modern process automation solutions. That's, I think, super important to have in mind. The second thing is also that you can measure this impact, and you can actually compare it to other traditional paid media investments. For example, our customers estimate that on average for one single dollar invested with Botify, they are going to have 3 to 5 times higher return than for a dollar invested in paid media in general. So yes, organic search, I think, is really entering a new modern period, and this is actually super exciting because it means that you can probably reach a sustainable and more profitable audience. So that's interesting for our customers, especially in the current economic environment where I think we are all being asked to do more with less, and
Right.
organic search marketing is definitely a good answer to this period.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, thanks again. I'd like to thank Adrien Menard, co-founder and CEO of Botify.com, for joining the show. You can learn more about Adrien and Botify by following the links in the show notes. Thanks again for listening to the Agile Brand with Greg Kihlstrom podcast, brought to you by Tech Systems. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to subscribe on your podcast channel of choice and leave us a rating so that others can find the show more easily. You can access more episodes of the show at www.gregkihlstrom.com. That's GREGKIHLSTROM.com. To get a copy of my latest book, House of the Customer, visit my website, or you can find it on Amazon or other retailers. The Agile Brand is produced by Missing Link, a Latina-owned, strategy-driven, creatively fueled production co-op. From ideation to creation, they craft human connections through intelligent, engaging, and informative content. Until next time, stay agile.